Welcome. Today I want to talk about showing up and burning brightly. And what do I mean by that? I mean to say that oftentimes we do not show up as our true and authentic selves. Generally speaking, we dim our lights for the purpose of making other people feel more comfortable. And it's really a backward system. Oftentimes, if you show up brightly, you give others permission to show up brightly also. But for whatever reason, most of us were taught, and quite often women were taught, to be silent and obedient, to be soft and pretty. Bold was not accepted. And what I find is that we have a very small portion of people who burn brightly. We've got a portion of people who judge others for burning brightly. And then more often than not, we have a very large portion of the population who just dims their light a little bit because they don't want to seem boastful or arrogant. And I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm talking about true, authentic burning brightly. So what does that look like? That looks like the woman or man who speaks with a genuinity, with a feeling of power and beauty and strength, one that is magnetic, one that helps others to feel as if they too could potentially burn brightly. I have a friend. She's an excellent woman. And if I were to describe her as a color, I would describe her as not just red, but scarlet. She oozes sensuality and sexuality. She is the most beautiful, sexy person that I know. And every single time that we get together, we put our heels on, we drink our red wine, and we go out. And we don't just go out, we go out. Lashes and the whole thing. And it took me a lot of years to understand that in that relationship, what I truly receive is a feeling of importance. I feel important to her and I feel important to others because she shows up so brightly whenever we go places that it makes me, stand a little taller, shoulders back, and just feel a little bit more beautiful, a little bit more powerful. Because again, she's showing up so beautiful and so powerful. So you can see how, contrary to popular belief, showing up authentically, brightly, it isn't arrogant. Now there is, however, a sense of arrogance that some people can exude. And what that would be barriers up that person has created with a strong and unmoving way that they project to show, I'm powerful and I don't take bullshit from anybody. That to me is not true confidence. that to me comes off as fake, disingenuine, uncomfortable, and kind of icky. Whereas the person who truly, truly is just showing up authentically as themselves, they give others permission to do the same. And you can feel it. Again, the word that I keep describing to describe this person is magnetic, where you just feel like you can't get enough. This same friend has been the reason for many a night where I drank far too much wine. And I didn't expect to do it, but yet you were having so much fun in this world of jewels and sparkles and red wine and high heels that you just didn't want to stop. So how could this be relevant to you? Not all of us are, sensual and sexual in nature. That doesn't need to be the way that we show up. It could be that you are hilarious. You're so funny and you help others to feel light. It could be that you are powerful and you help others to feel like they can do it too. But you see, if you dim your light, if you dim everything that you are, or even just some of that you are, so that other people will maybe not judge you, then you're taking away from those people too. You're taking away from the ability of those people to be able to expand just as you expand. Genuinely. And the operative word there is genuinely. So consider that. What would it look like if you showed up? To further this thought, another option that you could move towards if you don't know exactly how that would look like and it doesn't feel comfortable would be to sort of fake it till you make it. So they call it the alter ego. The person who you'd like to be, the person who you maybe were before your parents told you to be small, or your friend or that experience or whatever else, the person that you were when you were a child. Perhaps that person was the ego that you'd like to have, but life sort of took a different turn and you felt that you should dim in order to be brighter for other people. So this alter ego idea is you choose a personality, whether that woman is, confident and beautiful and health-minded and strong, or if that man is excellent in business and very charismatic and sexy, or whatever it is that you'd like to be. And then you fake it until you make it. Because it truly is a muscle. Your subconscious mind is going to tell you, oh, you're not enough for this. Don't do it. People are going to judge you. But truly, people are going to judge you no matter what. And I know that we've all heard this, but it is so, so true. And I think the best example of this is young moms. They feed their babies health food, and then suddenly they're not thinking about all these other bacteriums and it's not intelligent and they're way too woo-woo, or they feed their babies food from a jar and they don't care about their babies and they haven't thought about their health or whatever else. These examples happen in every area of life. So if people are going to judge you anyway, whether you stay small as like the quiet, sheepish person that, they judge because she's got no self-confidence, or the person who's exuding all of this sensuality and they think, she's a hussy. They're going to judge you anyway. The people that aren't aligned with you are going to judge you anyway. So screw them. And honestly, just screw them. Accept yourself for who you are. Be okay with who you truly are. And then grow that. Now, I'm not talking about a person who is creative and soft-spoken and emotionally mature and all of these sorts of things to then become, harsh and reckless and, rude and all those sorts of things. I'm not talking about not being yourself. I'm talking about taking that essence and expanding it, creating expansion within yourself so that you can create expansion for others, leading by example. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful way of being. And this became applicable for me when I was kind of coming out of some of my cancer treatments, and people, that being said, I was in a pandemic, so I didn't see many people, but the people that I did see kind of looked to me like, so what's changed? Who are you now? And I remember being kind of pulled back thinking, interesting, everybody's wanting to know what this new Christine is and where this new wisdom is. And it gave me an opportunity to choose my alter ego. And not everyone gets that opportunity. So, that is important to note. I've been very grateful, and I've had the opportunity for people to go, oh, well, if she changes entirely, well, she had cancer. So, we get it. So there's no judgment there. So that was nice. That was an added bonus of cancer. However, that being said, if you just up and change, there may be a small refractory period. There may be a small portion of time where people, they say your name in their kitchen while they're cutting their vegetables and go, oh, she used to be so quiet and, now she's so bold, and who does she think she is? Which is going to happen anyway. And it's probably happening now about me, so whatever. C'est la vie. So anyway, so I got to kind of choose my alter ego coming out of my cancer treatment. And for me, I decided that what it was who I've always been. I've always wanted to help people. I've always wanted to help them become more free. I've always wanted to help myself become more free. And I've always wanted to open up as a person to others to help them. But I had this constant, who am I to do this? Who I'm not enough to do this. Or if I come out and start helping people, then people will judge me. And then all of this happened. And my paradigm shifted. And I said to myself, who am I not to do this? Who am I not to show up and start helping people? And who can I help create expansion for by showing up more brightly? So this is the work. I chose it. I chose to be this alter ego, which is not that alter. It was always who I've always been, is the essence of who I've always been. I just chose to expand on it for the first time ever. And I think that that's such a beautiful thing to do, to take your essence, to take who you are and expand on it. And there were a few things that felt very not me. And that would have been, you know, when I first started to get lash extensions, I felt kind of fake. And considering getting my teeth whitened and all of those sorts of things, I thought, oh, vanity. People are so into vanity and all those sorts of things, and they're so shallow, you know, and my ego told me that I would be shallow if I wanted to work on my beauty. And then I got thinking, who cares? I'd rather show up as this glamorous coach who is just feeling herself and feeling good and working on herself and helping other people to work on themselves. And I'd rather create that expansion for other people than really care of whether or not I have this persona or whether or not I, you know, am vain. Who cares? If it makes you feel good, just do it. Screw it. And honestly, just leave it be. Let yourself just let it be. Fall into the person that you'd like to be. Build that muscle. Keep doing it over and over and over again until it feels real. And your ego is going to scream at you to stop. I know it because it is happening. Not so much so now, but it sure has happened for a period of time. I mean, we're only on episode, 7 now? So episode 1 to 6, everything was telling me, like, stop it, Christine. People are going to find out you have a podcast, and then they're going to listen to it. Ooh, that's not so bad. That was the point of it after all. But our minds tell us to stay small because it's safe. But I'm telling you now that safety, or the illusion of safety, is not serving you. Show up right. So I'd like to conclude this with a quote from an excellent book called Return to Love. It's written by Marianne Williamson. And there was a quote that was written in her book that has become quite popular. And years and years and years ago, I did a photo shoot with a friend who is a photographer and an excellent one at that. And we did this photo shoot, and it was so uncomfortable for me to pose and to show up brightly. I was so in a place of just not feeling special, not in any way, feeling less than. And she convinced me to do this photo shoot of just me. And it was uncomfortable. And then she took a photo that made me very uncomfortable because I felt like I looked fat and all these other things. And she wrote this quote on this photo. And I just think back, if I knew then what I know now, I could have had 7 more years of fun and enjoyment, true, genuine enjoyment. I could have saved myself so many nights of not feeling enough and crying and you know, so many uncomfortable situations, feeling that I wasn't liked or that I wasn't worthy. But maybe that's God bless the broken road. Maybe that's the pieces that brought me here. So I digress. This quote will rock your world. Okay. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, or fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. So I'll leave you with that. So go out today, live more free, and burn brightly. So much love, you guys.